What's going on, guys? So Apple sent me an exclusive discount code on their website. So all you have to do is type in nobody before checkout and you'll get 0% off, because that's who our sponsor is for today. Nobody. So in this video, I'm just going to focus on the base 14-inch. So this is the one that I believe starts at $1,600. This is also the one that has the most conversation because it does have 8 gigabytes of memory. So first, let's give credit where credit is due. This laptop was made in China, so shout out to the people in China for making this laptop for us. I do want to mention that I'm happy Apple has kind of gone away with the regular 13-inch Pro, and the Pro model only comes in 14 inches. So, ooh, that was a nice flip. Let's get this unboxed. Whew. A lot of people are excited about the Space Black, including myself, but that one only comes on the $2,000 model of the 14-inch. We could talk about the other things you get in the box, but to be honest, we've seen enough of that stuff, so let's just get that out the way. So let's go ahead and get this Space Gray unraveled here. And as always, there should be a white piece of paper to protect the screen, if I'm not mistaken. As soon as I pull this, you get the Apple logo. Oh, this fabric is a little bit different. All right, let's give this computer a nice smell test. It smells like a new car. Actually, I would say at the palm area, it smells like a new car. At the hinge, it smells like fish. Booted up inside the laptop now, but I want to show off the ports that we get on this base model 14-inch. So we have MagSafe, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, and a headphone jack. And then the new addition for this entry-level model is the HDMI 2.1 port, as well as the SD card slot. So nice that we get new ports on this 14-inch base model. We don't have Thunderbolt ports on either side. I do think that's a bit of a miss on Apple's end, but since this is just using the base M3 processor, that could be the limitation. I don't know if they want to like send a ribbon cable over here in order to get that Thunderbolt functionality, but regardless, bit of a bummer that we only have Thunderbolt on a pro level device at this price point. We do have the keyboard here as well as the trackpad. Apple is known for having fantastic keyboards and trackpads. Before they didn't, now they do. Trackpad is massive as always, but then with the Magic Keyboard, I'll probably talk about this more when I do a proper typing test, but overall, in terms of the build quality, it's a MacBook Pro. It's what you expect. It's great. You have on the bottom here, MacBook Pro written here. You have 2 vents for the fans, although it's probably not gonna get that hot anyway. I would reserve that more for the M3, M3 Ultra, not M3 Ultra, M3 Pro and M3 Max. Hopefully this is in frame, but I do want to talk about the display before I show it off on the overhead. If this is your first time getting the 14-inch, all you really need to know is just imagine Apple's $5,000 XDR display shrunken down and attached on the laptop. I think this is one of the best displays on a laptop, and the fact that you're getting this at an even lower price point at $1,600, if I'm not mistaken, is just an incredible deal or steal. If you're a person who really cares about accuracy in the colors that you get on the go, the 14-inch is the way to go. The other thing that I want to mention as well is that it does have ProMotion, so it does go all the way up to 120 Hertz. That is something that is only reserved for their Pro models, but now that we have entered Iceland, let me go ahead and show you what it looks like on the overhead. And just so you guys can also see, this is HDR running at, what the heck, you better bump this up to 4K. This is running at 4K 60 HDR, and I've got to say the colors look amazing. So before I move over to the speaker test, I want to mention one last thing when it comes to the display, just for my own experience, and it's that the display is so good that I don't even watch content on my TV as much anymore. My TV does suck, it's only LCD TV, but you know, the mini LED from how blacks to black gets, but also how bright the display gets, watching movies, content, TV shows, just anything in general is a pleasure to watch. And pair that with the speakers on a MacBook as well. This is a really nice, just media consumption device that also can do your business work as well. So let's go ahead and jump into the speakers. Speakers on the MacBook Pro put a lot of other laptops to shame, and now that it's starting at an even lower price point, I think it's only going to make the competition even more fierce. But let's move on to the camera as well and see how the camera and microphone sound. All right, so this is a camera and microphone test to see how it sounds and looks. You guys let me know. I do have some pretty good lighting here, so what I'm going to do is actually turn off the light that I have over there. As you can see, there's a bit more of a shadow on this side of my face. Sorry, it's mirrored for you guys. But honestly, with the 1080p webcam, which I'll talk about in a second, I do think it's an improvement of this new model that we have here compared to the previous generation. But overall, speakers are definitely better than most laptops as well. But camera as well, I would say it's above average. I wouldn't say it's excellent, but above average, for sure. Right on. I want to leave this video off with two things. Who is the target audience for this laptop, and should you buy it? Now, I would say for this entry-level 14-inch, it's for people who are still on Intel or on the first generation MacBooks. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, for people who are on the channel a lot, this is my M1 MacBook Air. The only thing that I've done on this laptop is upgrade the RAM, and that's it. Base CPU, base storage at 256, believe it or not, and upgrade the RAM. That's it. So I would say if you bought the Air and you have realized that it's just not enough for you anymore, then you might think you should get the 14-inch entry-level model. It's gonna be so weird doing this for like buying guides and stuff. But if you are on Intel as well, I would say that this is also another good pickup, because you have to realize that even though a lot of people are complaining about Apple making this laptop, this is an improvement from what it was replacing. You have to realize that what this laptop replaced was the Pro model that looked like this. So it had the display that was kind of chunky, didn't have ProMotion, didn't have any type of HDR abilities. The speaker is not as good as this. The microphones aren't as good as this. It only had 2 Thunderbolt ports. This one has 2, along with HDMI, SD card reader, and MagSafe has been returned. You do get the nice fit and finish of the 14-inch as well. The better camera, I think I might have mentioned that already, but there's just a lot of other creature comforts that are now in this laptop that weren't in the previous generation before. And so from my own experience, what I've seen a lot of people selling online in the used market are the Pro models that looked like this. And I think it's because they didn't realize that they were getting the entry chip, so like the non-Pro, non-Max, non-Ultra M processors in a laptop that had outdated design. So if you are a person who purchased that machine, or if you're still on the M1 Air, then you can consider buying this entry 14-inch. Once again, if you're on Intel as well, this is another good option for you. I will have a video out later this week or next week, because this laptop is a little bit weird, because at its price point, the M2 Pro at 14 inches is at the same price point, and I think offers way more value for your money, but I'm not going to get into that here. So the question I'm going to answer now is, should you buy this laptop, and what am I going to do? So what I'm going to do first is probably just use it and see if it's justified, because the main reason was always kind of kept me away from the 14-inch and 16-inch is, believe it or not, the price point. I just think the amount of money I'm spending is not really justified. Oh my God, I'm really getting an ad, but the M1 MacBook Air can do a lot of stuff for me, but I do feel as though I'm pushing it to its limit, and a Pro model would kind of solve a lot of those issues. The people who should buy this laptop are in 2 groups. The first group are people who only buy new. For me, I'm not really going to say too much, but just know that there are some people that will only buy new, nothing else. Completely understandable. Not to me though, but if you only want to buy new, this is a good option for you. If you are also in a market where the used market isn't as plentiful as the US, you don't have that many options, and new is the only thing available to you, this would also be another good option. Just make sure you're shopping within your budget. Now, in terms of speccing out the entry-level model, that's where it gets a little bit dicey. And you know, Apple is no stranger to having the best system of just inching up and up the ladder in terms of what you should spend. You can get away with 8 gigabytes of RAM on a MacBook. macOS is really efficient because they did build the new generations of macOS with Apple Silicon in mind. But I feel as though Apple knows the target audience for people who are buying this. They're most likely gonna upgrade to $200 anyway, or they're gonna upgrade another $200 for that 16 gigabytes anyway. So it's almost as if they did this intentionally, which sucks, but you know, 16 gigabytes of RAM, I feel as though it should have been standard, but at that price point, it would just make the entire Mac stack awkward. So that's probably why they kind of gutted this machine to only have 8 gigabytes. So with that being said, I will have a full review of the entry-level 14-inch MacBook Pro. I'm probably not going to upgrade to it. I'm going to take my own advice and probably just looked at the used market for an M2 Pro 14-inch. But regardless, hopefully you guys enjoyed this unboxing video and you got something out of it. If you do intend to pick this laptop up, please let me know down in the comments below. I will have regular unboxings of the other laptops that I have. And till next time, guys, much love. I don't know if I said appreciate every single sub, like, and comment, but yeah. By the way, this display is toasty. Toasty. I'll have the link of this video down in the description below as well. Give credit where credit is due. Sniper Wolf. This material is different from what they usually use. I don't know what it is, but it's different. This laptop is kind of geared towards people who are still on Intel or they're on the first generation of the MacBooks. I'm like a jackrabbit. My dentist is probably cringing right now watching this. Why do setup processes take so long? Don't share anything with Apple. I'm chilling like a villain. No Siri. Before I show you guys the display on the overhead, I do want to touch on the display. Before I move over to the speaker test, I just want to leave one last thing on the display. Let's go ahead and jump into the speakers. Woo! Not literally, but you know. So I'm going to open a... Why is an insect dancing on my window? Even though we do get a price increase, I don't think the price is too outrageous for Apple. Keep that in mind for Apple, because the outgoing model